Hi, I'm Denise Gray. I'm an associate registrar at the Innis College Registrar's Office, and I'm going to talk to you about program enrollment. So some of the things that we'll talk about in this presentation will cover exactly what is a program, how does it fit into your overall degree requirements, the details about applying for a program, whether the program is an open enrollment program or a limited enrollment program, and what does that mean, the number of programs that you can apply for, and some other considerations. Okay, so we'll start off with what is a program? So program, also known as a subject post or a post, you may have heard other people referring to programs by those terms. They all mean the same thing. Post is an acronym that stands for Program of Study. It refers to a group of courses that you take in a specific subject area, and you'll fulfill all the requirements of the program as listed in the academic calendar as part of your overall degree requirements. So when people ask you what is your major at U of T, that's what they're referring to. What is your program? We offer majors, minors, specialists, and I'll detail exactly what those mean in the coming slides. Okay, so when you're thinking about what programs to choose, you might want to ask yourself a couple of questions. Start with, what courses did you like most this year? In which courses did you receive the highest grades? And often those two answers go hand in hand. Right? Courses that you did the best in are often the ones that you like the most. If you could study anything that you wanted, what would it be? Very likely it's offered here. We have hundreds of programs offered in the Faculty of Arts and Science. And if there's not something exactly what it is that you wanted to study, maybe there's something very similar that we offer in the faculty. If you could do your first year over again, would you make the same choices when you're selecting your courses? If not, what other courses could you choose or would you choose? Can you still fit those into your academic plan without necessarily delaying your graduation? And have you completed enough credits to enroll in programs? So the answer to that question is yes, if you've earned or are on track to earning at least 4 credits by the end of the fall-winter session. Other questions, more big picture questions that you can ask yourself. Are you even familiar with all of the programs offered by the Faculty of Arts and Science? They are all listed in the academic calendar, which is linked here on this page. On the left-hand navigation, there's an A to Z link that lists all of the programs that you're eligible to apply to in the Faculty of Arts and Science. We also list them all in the program toolkit, which is under the current student site in the Faculty of Arts and Science website. Do the programs you want to take have limited enrollment, which means is there some kind of barrier to admission? Have the departments listed certain criteria that they want you to take before you can be eligible to join the program? If you don't have that criteria, what are your second and third choices of programs? What could you take based on the courses that you chose in first year? Are you interested in the courses required in those programs in the third and fourth years of the program? So often you'll find that years 1 and 2 are really foundational and pretty generic. And so you don't really get into the heart of the subject matter until your third and fourth year. So you might want to look now to see if these are courses that you think, wow, I can't wait to study those things because I really want to know about them. Or if you look into the third and fourth year and you think, wow, that's way too much detail in an area I'm not super interested in, perhaps I should look elsewhere. And does your choice of specialist, major, or minor fit in with your long-term academic and career goals? Okay, so degree requirements, as a reminder. In order to graduate from the Faculty of Arts and Science at U of T, you need to earn at least 20 credits. At least 13 of those credits need to be at the 200 level or higher, with at least 6 of those at the 300 or 400 level. You need to fulfill your breadth requirements, earn a cumulative grade point average of at least a 1.85, and then all of the courses necessary to satisfy your program requirements. And so we'll spend the bulk of the rest of this talk about that subject area, the program requirements. Okay, so at the end of the session in which you have earned at least your fourth credit, so for most of you first-year students, that will be at the end of this fall-winter session, you must enroll in at least one and no more than 3 programs. So I often get asked, do I have to choose a program? I don't know what I want to do yet, or I didn't take the right courses. The answer is yes. In order to be eligible to select courses for the upcoming year, you have to be actively enrolled in the minimum combination of programs, which is either 1 specialist or 2 majors or 1 major plus 2 minors. So at minimum, 1 program, which is a specialist, at most 3 programs, and you can look at these minimum combinations of programs we offer, either to pursue 1 specialist or 2 majors or 1 major plus 2 minors. You could do more than this. This is what is minimally required, but no more than 3 programs. If you are doing 3 programs, at least 1 of them has to be a minor. Okay, no more than 2 can be a major or a specialist. Okay, so what is the difference among those 3 options, specialist, major, and minor? At the root of it, it's the number of credits that are required to complete it. If you're pursuing a specialist, you're specializing. So it requires the most number of credits in that singular specialized area to complete that program. Most programs most specialist programs require anywhere from 10 to 14 credits to complete. You need more credits at the 300 or 400 level than you would for a major or minor. So you need at least 4 credits at the 300 or 400 level, which at least one of must be at the 400 level for a specialist. If you're pursuing a major is between 6 and 8.5 credits, depending on the program. You need at least 2 credits at the 300 or 400 level. Of those 2 credits, at least a half credit must be at the 400 level. And a minor is always 4 credits. And you need at least 1 credit at the 300 or 400 level. And a 400 level course is not necessarily required. It's good to note that not all disciplines, not all academic units offer all 3 types of programs. Some offer only a minor or only a major or only a specialist in that area. Okay, so a quick note about 2 majors or major and 2 minors. If you're pursuing programs, if you're doing 2 majors or major and 2 minors, and you're pursuing programs that have shared courses, so courses that are required by both, you have to ensure that you have at least 12 distinct credits. So you can use those courses in 2 ways. So you can take the course and use it to satisfy a program requirement for both of your majors if it's allowed, right? If the department requires both the same course for both of those programs. But there is a limit to the number of credits that you can share between your programs. So you have to ensure you have at least 12 unique or 12 distinct credits between the 2 majors or among the major and 2 minors. If you are using Degree Explorer, which I highly recommend as a planning and tracking tool as you make progress towards your degree requirements, Degree Explorer keeps track of this particular rule for you, the 12 distinct credit rule. You could also come to the registrar's office and we can go over it with you and count it up for you or with you. If you, like me, like to write things down on paper, if you were to write out all of the courses that you took for each of your programs and crossed out one instance of any duplicating courses, what you want ideally to be left with is 12 unique credits. Okay, so the 2 different kinds of programs, open and limited. Open enrollment programs, the department hasn't stated any specific requirements needed for admission to the programs. You just need to have earned 4 credits, which sends you into 2nd year standing. There are no other enrollment requirements. Of course, you have to complete the program as they've outlined in the academic calendar. So there are specific courses you need to take to complete that program. But the department says as long as you've earned 4 credits, you can join our program and be actively enrolled into it. You would enroll via Acorn, On the left-hand navigation of Acorn, there's an Enroll tab. So you click on it. There's a drop-down menu that gives you the option to choose enrolling in courses or programs. For this purpose, you want to choose programs. And you can add your open enrollment program. You can add up to 3, because remember, the maximum number of programs you can be actively enrolled in is 3. The enrollment period is 6 months long, so it starts March 3rd and it ends September 15th. However, it's important to note that you must be actively enrolled in the appropriate combination of programs by the time course enrollment comes around. So for second-year students in 2025, that's July 14th. So by that date, you need to be enrolled in the minimum combination of programs. You can change it afterwards, but you need to be actively enrolled in the right combination of programs. So for open enrollment programs, you have the option to add programs anywhere from March 3rd to September 15th. You need to do that on Acorn. Here's an example. The human biology major, I took this right out of the academic calendar. There's a brief description, and then you can see under the enrollment requirements, bolded section, it says this is an open enrollment program, and as a student who's completed at least 4 credits may enroll in the program. Take note in the gray section at the top, the code ASMAJ 2035, that's the code that's unique to the human biology major in the Faculty of Arts and Science. So when you're enrolling in a program on Acorn, you can literally start typing in human biology major and see what, choose the correct program from the drop-down menu, or you can put in this code. AS stands for Arts and Science, MAJ is major, and 2035 is the department code for human biology. Okay, limited enrollment programs. So this is a little bit more complicated. Open enrollment programs, remember, there's no barrier to admission. You can just go ahead and add, be actively enrolled. For limited enrollment programs, there's 2 types of programs, limited enrollment programs. There's limited enrollment non-competitive, which means the department has outlined specific criteria that you need to earn in order to get into that program. And if you meet that minimum criteria, then you can get in. Economics, for example, says we require students to take first-year calculus, and we require students to take first-year economics. And they list in the academic calendar what the minimum marks are necessary for admission to the program. If you take first-year calculus and you take first-year economics and you meet those minimum marks, then you'll be offered admission if you've applied to the economics major. Other programs, limited enrollment competitive programs, have a variable admission average. So they will also list specific criteria that the departments want you to have taken, marks you needed to have gotten in certain courses that you should have completed at the time of it, or on your way to completing at the time of admission. But meeting those minimum requirements doesn't necessarily guarantee you admission to the program. So it may be that the department says, we have a certain number of spaces and we will take the best of the students who apply. So the minimum admission average could fluctuate depending on the applicant pool. Other limited enrollment programs may have additional supplemental application components. So there might be an essay or an audition. Drama, for example, has an audition. Computer science has a series of questions that you need to complete, and their supplemental application, Rotman Commerce as well. So if you're applying from outside of those admission categories. So it's always important to read the academic calendar to see under the department listing what is required for each of those programs. Okay, again, you apply via Acorn. You can apply to as many of these programs as you like, with the exception of the collaborative life science programs, which we'll talk about in a couple of upcoming slides. but you apply to as many programs as you like because there is that extra step where you have now a requested status, and then the department will offer you admission or not, depending on their admission criteria. And then you can accept programs that you've been offered admission to, up to 3 programs to be actively enrolled in a maximum of 3. Okay, so here's another example from the academic calendar. I've chosen from the chemistry department. Note in the gray section at the top, the ASMAJ 1376, that's the arts and science major. 1376 is the code for chemistry. The enrollment requirements are that you've completed first year chemistry and earned a minimum mark of at least 63%. If you meet those minimum marks, then you'll be offered admission. Okay, so when to apply? So program enrollment begins on March 3rd. For all programs, open enrollment and limited enrollment, but limited enrollment programs have a window in which you need to have completed an application. So for round 1, this is for all students who are completing the enrollment requirements for their program by the end of the fall-winter session. You would apply between March 3rd and April 25th at any point within that window. There's no points for being the first person to apply. So at some point between the beginning of March and the end of April, within those dates, you need to apply for your program. The departments then have 8 weeks or so in which they can make a decision and submit results back to Acorn. So when you apply between March 3rd and April 25th, you'll have a requested status, and then you can check your results starting April 26th through the beginning of June. And if you've been offered a spot in that program to which you've applied, you'll have an invited status. If you've been refused, you'll have a refused status. And then you need to accept the offers. The offers do expire. You will need to accept your offer by July 4th. Round 2, for students who are using the summer to meet the minimum admission criteria for the program that they want, can apply in round 2. Round 2 begins on July 5th, closes on August 19th. Again, you have that whole length of time during which you can apply for your program. There's no points for being the first person to apply in July. Just apply before August 19th, and then you can check your results between August 20th and September 3rd and accept any programs you've been offered an invitation to join by September 15th. Remember, though, course enrollment still takes place in the middle of July. So if you're using the summer to meet the admission criteria for the limited enrollment program that you want, you'll have to add yourself to some other program, either other programs that you can apply for during round 1 or any open enrollment programs so that you'd be eligible to join to apply for your courses. If you're waiting till the end of round 2 to find out whether or not you got into that program, that's fine. You can drop the program that you've added as a placeholder and accept the offer of invitation for the programs that you might be invited to between August 20th and September 3rd. Okay, so I mentioned the collaborative life science programs. These are a list of about 20 different departments, 20 different programs that are in the life sciences that are hosted in collaboration with the Faculty of Medicine. For these programs, you can only apply, they're all limited enrollment programs, and you can apply to a maximum of 6. So for other limited enrollment programs, remember you can apply to as many as you like. For the collaborative life science programs, you can apply to a maximum of 6. Most of these, 15 out of the 20, will only consider applicants in round 1. They do not have a round 2. And they are all limited enrollment competitive programs. You can see on the academic calendar under the department listing exactly what it is that they're looking for admission to the program, but they won't give you an average. They may say to be competitive based on years past, students should expect to have an average or marks in the 70s in these courses with a total average of 80%. Or something as an example. So you can look in the academic calendar and find out those details. For the collaborative life science programs, you can apply to a maximum of 6. Remember that most applicants will only be considered in round 1, and decisions come out in 3 different iterations. So this here is the list from taken right from the program toolkit that I mentioned earlier, of the collaborative life science programs. The first 15 only accept students during the first round, and then the bottom 5 accept students during the first and second request period. So you apply between March 3rd and April 25th, and there are 3 different decision iterations. So you'll be considered for any of the collaborative life science programs that you've applied to during the first decision iteration, which will come out between May 16th and 29th. For any program that you still have a requested status for, so if you've applied to 6 and you were invited to 1, you'll still be considered for the other 5 during the second decision iteration. And again, any programs for which you still have a requested status, you'll be considered during the third decision iteration, which takes place towards the end of June, beginning of July. You need to accept any invitations that you've been offered to any one of these programs during the decision iteration, or that offer will expire. Okay, for the 5 programs that accept students during the second request period for the collaborative life science programs, you apply very much like other limited enrollment programs in round 2 between July 15th and August 19th, and there's just 1 decision iteration. It's during that August 20th to September 3rd window, and you have to accept the offer by September 15th or it will expire. Okay, so that's it for programs, but there are other opportunities that you can apply for that will help enhance your credentials on your transcript. It may help you earn money. It can be a complement to your learning or a supplement to your learning and help you build experience, but these things are not programs. So ASIP, the Arts and Science Internship Program, is an opportunity. There's about 20 to 25 different programs that have an ASIP stream to them. And if you go to this uoft.me/ASIP, you can find out more information. And what ASIP is a built-in internship into your undergraduate experience. So you spend you apply for ASIP after you've been admitted to your major, minor, or specialist that has an ASIP stream to it. Then you can apply to ASIP, and then in years 2, if you get into ASIP, then in year 2 and 3, you would be taking some additional professional development type courses along with your academic courses. And then after your 3rd year of study, you take a 12 to 20 month internship, which is a paid internship in that field of study. And then you would return to complete your 4th year of academic courses, which would then technically be in your 5th year of study. So it adds an extra year to your undergraduate experience, but it gives you very valuable work, paid work experience for 12 to 20 months built into the middle of your undergraduate experience. Focuses and certificates are other ways to enhance your credentials on your transcript. These are not programs, they're not majors, minors, or specialists, but they are specialized courses, often within a particular discipline, that will add a credential. So focuses exist within an area of study. Not every department has one or offers focuses, but it's a way of clustering your elective courses within those programs into a certain sub-discipline. So if you're looking at the academic calendar and you see major, minor, or specialist in a certain area, but then they will also list focus in a certain subtopic, if that's something, an area that interests you, you could choose to add that. So you have a major in X program with a focus in a related area, which means you've just clustered your elective courses around a particular theme. Certificates are supplemental to or they're sort of external to your major, minor, or specialist. They are not programs, or they are composed of a maximum of 2 to 3 credits in a certain topic that may complement your degree or offer a structure to elective course choices that you may have within your 20 credits. And you can look in the academic calendar, again, under that A to Z course listing on the left-hand navigation for the academic calendar, and you can find out more details about the 6 different certificates that we offer. I've mentioned the program toolkit a couple of times. Here's where you would find it. This is just a screenshot of some of the opportunities, some information. All of this information that I've just given you is all listed in the um, program toolkit with links to departments, to the calendar, to other information in the Career Center. So it's certainly well worth checking out. Okay, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, the timeline of an application for a limited enrollment program, you would have a requested status, which means that you've applied and you need to check back later. After the application period closes, then you can start checking ACORN to see if you have an invited status, which means the department has um, determined that you meet their eligibility to join the program, or a refused status. If you are invited, then you need to accept your offer of invitation to be active. And active is the goal. So you want to be actively enrolled in the minimum combination of programs before course enrollment. If you're applying for an open enrollment program, you skip all the first 3 steps and you go straight to active. Okay, here's some screenshots from ACORN. Again, I mentioned on the left-hand navigation under the Enroll and Manage tab, you would open the drop-down menu and choose programs. You can start in that box for under Add a Program. You can start typing in the programs. Remember that University of Toronto Scarborough and Mississauga also use ACORN, and so their programs are also listed here. So you want to make sure that you choose the arts and science version of the program that you want, or you can type in that code ASMAJ or ASSPE or ASMIN plus the department code. And then click on apply. Okay, so resources where you can go to for information and advice. You can always start with your college registrar's office, the Innis College Registrar. This is how you can reach us, registrar.innis@utoronto.ca, or you can come in to 2 Sussex Avenue on the ground floor, or you can call us at 978-2513. Or you can look for information in the academic calendar and the timetable builder for information about courses and programs. Program Toolkit is an extremely useful tool, and it has some student testimonials. There's also information about the program fair that's coming up at the end of February. Also, the departments. Go to the undergraduate departments. Every undergraduate department has an advisor who is a subject area expert in the opportunities, the courses, the programs that their departments offer. As a registrar's office, where more generalists go to the department if you have specific information, specific questions that you want to ask. Ask your professors, TAs, graduate students. There is a wealth of information available via the departments. Also, the Career Exploration and Education Office, CXED, they're also available online. They offer many workshops and career advisors who can help you navigate your interests and turn it into a potential career and the pathways that it might take to get there. That is a very comprehensive information about how to apply for your program, important dates, and the procedure for doing so. If you have any questions, please reach out to the Innis Registrar's office at registrar.innis@utoronto.ca, or me directly at denise.gray@utoronto.ca, GRAY. Or call or come in. We would love to help you be successful and meet all of your academic and professional goals. Thank you. Bye-bye.